Media Day kicks off on Monday to mark the official start of Miami season. But after a difficult offseason, what can we expect players to say? We'll bring you our first ever mock Media Day on what we think we'll hear on today's Locked On Heat.
You are Locked On Heat, your daily Miami Heat podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, welcome to Locked On Heat, your everyday podcast on the Miami Heat. Whether you're tuning in on YouTube, Odyssey, or your favorite podcast app, thanks for making Locked On Heat your first listen every day. I'm Wes Goldberg, editor at allyoucanheat.com, here with David Ramil. Both of us are credentialed Heat media members, and the best way to support the show is to leave a 5-star rating and review on your podcast app. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet, and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Miami Heat Media Day is on Monday, David. It's a great time to meet with players and coaches, have them answer questions to help gather some insight on the team and get ready for the season. It's also a great time to be hit over the head with cliches and empty promises. A lot of times, we already know what they're going to say. So today, we thought we could do our own mock Media Day and make some predictions for what we think we're going to hear on Monday. You and I both prepared a list of quotes from various Heat coaches and players. We can go back and forth and read those quotes and then guess who said them, so our audience can just sort of play along with us. Never done this before, like you mentioned in the open there. So interested to see how this works, but let's just jump right in.
But you know, it's interesting because Media Day, obviously, and I've said this before, I having been in Orlando for a number of years and watching that Media Day and knowing that team wasn't going anywhere and just the wave of optimism, right? There are 30 teams that will report, or at least a couple, that have already started Media Day, but there'll be most of the NBA will report on Monday. And there's so much optimism and everything else like that. And you kind of try to find thinly veiled reality mixed into these answers that are, as you said, somewhat cliched. But I think with the Heat, I mean, we've been covering a number of Media Days already. We know exactly what's more or less what the timber is going to be going into the season. But I think there'll still be a few nuggets of revelatory truth mixed in there. So I'm kind of curious to see what the players have to say. I'm excited for it. It's Media Day. It's always a good opportunity to see the players.
And like you mentioned, we've done a number of these now.
Yeah.
So we have relationships with some of these players. It's like you kind of get back from summer break, you get back to school and you're like, "Oh, hey, what's up? How was your summer? What'd you do?" Like, so it is fun to catch up with everybody, and sort of the side conversations that aren't being done at the podium are actually more fun than what I think most of the audience sees at the podium. And it's why, we do our one-on-one sort of on our sort of quote unquote radio row at Heat Media Day. And we're going to have those next week, so look forward to those. But I've done Heat Media Day, Warriors Media Day, Sacramento Kings Media Day.
Yep.
I think those are all the media days I've done. You've done what, Orlando and Miami?
Yeah, Orlando, Miami. Yeah, that's the only ones I had to cover. And it was just it's the same thing though. It's the whole thing. It's interesting that no matter whether you're a realistic contender like the Warriors or, in their opinion, the Heat, everybody goes in there with the same level of optimism. This is the year we're going to break through. And it's like, 20 games into the season, you're somewhere around 4-16 on your record.
I got to tell you, when I was covering the Sacramento Kings Media Day, nobody there was telling us that this was going to be the year. This was like De'Aaron Fox's first or second year. I remember they set up like an Xbox or something to play like NBA 2K, and just De'Aaron Fox was just doing that, but they were like filming them. So it was like part of whatever content they were doing. But I was like, that looks fun. Can I go do that? And it was like Vince Carter, who's having his jersey retired by the Raptors and the Nets.
Ridiculous.
So it's ridiculous that he's having his jersey retired?
Yes, first of all, I think so. Because again,
by
he's
who?
not
The Raptors or the Nets? Or both?
Either.
Okay, never won a championship?
No,
the Raptors, I make sense. He was a cultural icon in Toronto, but the Nets, that's a little ridiculous.
Fair. Maybe.
But that's neither here nor there. I remember talking to him that one weird year he was in Sacramento.
Yes.
At Media Day. And I was just like, why are you're like 40 years old. What are you doing? And I'm like, you know what? Cashing a check. And of course, he didn't say that at Media Day. But we're going to try to guess what some of these Miami Heat players and coaches are going to say at Media Day. You go ahead. You go first. Just give me the quote. If you want to give me some context as like what the question was, if you think that helps, that's up to you. But give me the quote, and then I'm going to guess who tried to set it. And again, audience, play along.
I think this will be a little obvious, but I think it's fun. Playing with Bam over the last few weeks has shown me just how different the level of physicality is at this level. So I know that I've got a lot of work to do, but the Heat saw something in me when they drafted me. So I know my job is to come in here, do what the coaches tell me, and work harder than I ever have in my life. That's what Heat culture is all about, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
All right, very good, Khalil Ware.
I'm expecting a lot of that. Like we're seeing already Heat's social media team posting pictures of off-season workouts that don't include Jimmy Butler, unfortunately. And everybody else is working. Even
Jimmy Butler's in Ibiza. Ibiza? How do rich people say it? Ibiza? Yeah.
Sure. Who cares? He's certainly he's rich enough, and he's wearing a skirt, I believe, and his latest fashion. I think I saw a post of that. But anyway, that's
that breeze. Get that breeze going.
Yeah. So it's not the way I wanted Kansas Star. I thought he'd be a part of these offseason workouts, but everybody's working out. Khalil's being a part of it. Bam's there. Thomas Bryant, Caleb. A lot of players are there. Maybe I haven't seen Tyler either, so he might be excused from camp. So that's it's understandable.
Like the voluntary workouts.
Sure, I get it.
It is something to monitor. I'm not disagreeing with you there. I do think we as an NBA media space sometimes go overboard on the voluntary workouts, who's there and who's not. I think it's a little overstated. It's just like, all right, like I know Tyler Hero's working out and he's doing his own thing. Like a lot of these guys just have like their own plan and have their own thing going on. Bam's going to be there because he's the leader. Like I'm not saying it's not nothing. It would be nice if Jimmy were there, but he's not. All right, I got one for you before we move on here. It's competition. It'll be competitive, which is what we live for. I also don't think it matters all that much. What matters is that we have a locker room of competitors who value winning every single night and making each other better. We have a great group of guys, and I can't wait for the season to start.
Erik Spoelstra.
Yeah, he nailed it.
Wow.
All
right, I was thinking. Yeah, it was.
I was trying how many times can I drop competitive into a quote? Competition.
Yeah, competition, competitive. Yeah, I get it. I saw that. I think it's not. Yeah, it's aligned with what Spo will say. Like I
asked about the starting lineup is sort of what I have here. Yeah. Doesn't matter. It's competition. It doesn't matter. He's just like, because that's the other part Erik Spoelstra does. When he's asked a question, he just deflates the question. He just like that question isn't important. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
And it's just about competition. The particulars of basketball don't matter. It doesn't matter that I might be the best coach in the NBA. That's not important. It's about those guys.
All right, you got time for one more?
Yeah, if you think it's a quick one, or we can just go to break and do it on the other side. Okay, let's do it.
The quick one right here. All right. In a way, this was the best summer of my NBA career because I didn't have to see my name in no damn trade rumors all summer.
Okay, very good, Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. I like that one. All right. It's true. He did not have to see his name in trade rumors all summer. Good for him. All right. On the other side, we're going to keep doing some of these Media Day predictions. Our mock Media Day continues after this on Locked On Heat.
Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. What are you looking forward to on Monday night when the Dolphins play? Are you looking forward to anything on Monday night?
I have zero expectations, so
Nice.
I'm looking forward to the Monday night beer that I get to drink. How about that?
Are you broken already this start of the season? I know
I was broken before the start of the season. For
Excellent.
In my defense, I was already broken. They didn't break me. I broke me. Thank you very much.
All right, there you go. You're accepting it. You're owning it. That's all we can hope for. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, let's say, and you want to check out the latest stats, or you can view live play-by-play, and there's so much more, you can see it all on the same page where you place your bets, and you can get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. No matter how your NFL season is going, make sure to go visit FanDuel.com today. We'll be right back.
Thanks again for making Locked On Heat your first listen every day. Best way to support the show. Leave a 5-star rating and review on your podcast app. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. The NBA season is around the corner. Media days on Monday. Training camp right after that. Preseason games will be here before you know it. And you know what happens when we have basketball games? We have post-game shows. We have even more content. And then the basketball season starts. Very excited for it. So you just hit me with a Tyler Hero quote.
Yep.
So I'm not going to pick Tyler Hero here. I'll wait on my Tyler Hero quote.
Hmm.
All right. I'm going to try to give you, I think, maybe a harder one.
All right.
Talking about, when asked about what he worked on this summer.
Oh.
This player says, Yeah, I think it's just getting better at everything. Keep working on my body. My back is feeling way better. I have a strong identity as a three-point shooter. I know what my role is, and at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help my team win however I can. That wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
No, that's pretty easy, Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, that's it.
Um, yeah, we mentioned the back end there,
The
but it's
back end of
interesting because
three-point shooting, and yeah.
yeah, no, but I've got a similar quote. I'll go ahead and throw this one off. So
All right.
this one's a freebie for our audience here. I know I changed my game up a little bit last year, but I don't think doing that again is realistic at this point in my career. I know what got me here was my shooting, and that's going to continue to be the strength of my game. That doesn't mean I can't change things up a bit when called upon to do so, but I would just curtail those expectations a bit. So I even threw in the big $10 word there and curtail, because I think Duncan tends to throw those in there a little bit more than the average NBA player. And yeah, I think it's aligned with basically what we expect. Like he had a big showing last season in terms of being able to add some versatility to his game. He was extremely impactful, I think, in those minutes. We had seen that even prior to that in the previous season's playoff run. But I don't know that we're going to see that again. Like, I don't know what that leap could even mean. Like, he's already showed the ability, obviously, to space the floor at a high level. He's done that in a number of different ways over the course of his career. He's shown the ability to drive to the basket. Like, I don't think we're going to start seeing Duncan Robinson low post game anytime soon. So I'm not sure what that next phase would be. And I think you want to be able to lean into what he does well. I mean, you and I talked about this not that long ago. Like, we want to see an uptick in him putting up a number of shots. Like, I mean, just concentrating almost inherently on shooting three-pointers. And if that's the case, then I think he's bound for a good season. And it just depends on how the offense is set up, and maybe they utilize him a little differently than they did last year.
I agree with that. And the Duncan Robinson quote was good because he does tend to be sort of the most upfront, introspective, honest player, I think, on the roster, who he'll just tell you like how he's feeling, what's going on about his game, and he just kind of tells you his thinking behind stuff. So I'm very excited to talk to him. But I love that he was able to add the off the dribble game, attacking the closeouts, getting passes, like all that stuff is good. I don't think it's going to go away from his game, but I don't want it would be a good thing for the offense overall if he wasn't being asked to do that as much, right? Like if Tyler Hero is healthy, if Terry Rozier is healthy, if Jimmy Butler is healthy and available, all those things, then Duncan Robinson's not going to have to do that. I want Duncan Robinson shooting even more threes, right? Leaning into, like your quote, what he does best, the thing that got him into the league, that elite 3-point shooting. I think his like season high for 3-point attempts is like 8.5. It dropped to like 7.5 or 7 last year off the top of my head. I want him up like by 9, 10. Like I just want him like letting it fly. Like why shouldn't he be taking 10 3-pointers a game?
As
He's
good
one of the
as
best
he
three-pointers
is,
in the league. Yeah.
And
no
in NBA history, let's be honest.
He's fastest ever to 300, 400, 500 threes, all these things. So keep doing it. All right, so you got me your Duncan Robinson quote. We got our Duncan Robinson quotes out of the way. All right. Quote, I would say I'm looking forward to playing with him and him helping me get better each and every day. And yeah, if that's the vision one day, being able to play beside him.
Ooh. Oh, is that Bam Adebayo talking about Khalil Ware?
Try again. Switch the names.
Khalil Ware talking about Bam Adebayo.
Yep, you got it.
All right, nice.
So I got my Khalil Ware quote out of the way too. So we got Khalil done.
All right,
you're up.
Interesting. All right, here's one here. Again, I think pretty easy to figure it out. There's one thing this summer taught me. It's that talent, and we have a talented team, doesn't guarantee anything. What matters is working harder than your opponent and putting yourself in a position to win. And we have everything we need to win at the highest level in that locker room right now. This team is capable of great things, but we all need to be on the same page to make that happen. We have enough.
Bam?
No, it's Erik Spoelstra, buddy.
Yeah, it's either Bam or Spo. The we have enough kind of gives it away at the end. Yeah. That's Spo. That's Spo.
He should get that tattooed. If he was a type to get a tattoo, that's what it would be. We have enough.
I wonder if Spoelstra has any tattoos.
Can't say that we've seen any, but that doesn't mean they don't exist.
Yeah.
Maybe he had like a whole back full of tattoos. And like
he just has a whole back piece, like like Udonis Haslem with the state of Florida. Erik Spoelstra.
Yeah.
It's like a giant Miami Heat logo.
Oh, ropes burning, like all kinds of iconic symbolism there. Yeah.
He just has like just quotes from all of his favorite books.
Yeah. Don't let go of the rope. Boats burning. Like all of those things tattooed in different ways.
All right, I'll go up. Quote: People always underestimate us or count us out. We're used to that around here. We don't care. People might have forgotten about because we lost in the first round or this, that, and the third. We don't care. We'll prove them wrong when we get in between those lines like we always do. End quote.
That's Bam.
That's Bam. What gave it away?
This, that, and a third.
Yep. 100%.
This, that, and a third. But yeah, get
That's
between
a
the
classic
lines.
Bam line. Yeah.
That is.
I think it speaks to how good we are at this in creating these fake quotes that they're easy to predict. So this is good for us.
I guess that's one way of looking at it. All right, here we go.
Yep.
I've done too much losing after being in Charlotte for years, and that's not what we're about here in Miami. I expect to contribute to winning, whatever role that is. It's up to coach to decide, but I know what I can do, and I expect to be able to show that off during camp.
So I have a similar Terry Rozier quote, but he's asked about his neck injury. Tough rehab, but I'm straight. Hated missing the end of last season, but I'm ready for camp. Really eager to get out there with these guys and show them what I can do.
There you go.
That's it. Terry Rozier really wants to show people what he can do. I think we're going to hear Terry Rozier for sure say, something about showing people what he can do. I think that's a guarantee. That is a lock. If we're picking locks, that is a lock. He also likes the word eager.
Eager. Oh wow, I hadn't.
That's a Terry Rozier word. Yeah.
All right, so I'll catch that. I get it. Like there is a lot of expectation there. We talked about this recently, and when we broke down what players we think have the most pressure on them to show out, and Terry, has to change the opinion of himself a lot. Like not the opinion of himself, the opinion that others have of him, rather. And I think part of that is the trade last season, the acquisition, the fact that he wasn't there for the playoffs. Like it's still very much kind of a blank slate for him to go out there and show what he's capable of. And he has to do it consistently over the full regular season and in the postseason where it matters most. So I'm curious to see how that plays out, but I'm sure that he's going to hint on all of those elements on Monday.
He'll be asked about the neck injury.
For sure.
He'll be asked about the lack
I'm
of
going to hear a lot of
I'm
straight. I'm good.
I'm straight.
Good.
Yep. He's going to he'll, as every player does, not just Terry Rozier, just say, I'm fine. It doesn't matter. Except for Nikola Jovic, who tends to just tell everybody exactly what's going on with every single injury, which I love. Never change, Nico. Never change.
No.
He's
He'll
like,
give you full details.
It's a sprained ligament, but there's like something going on in this ligament. So it's not like a normal sprain. I'm not really sure what's going on. And you're like, all right, great. I actually wish you lied to me because I like it when
pulling their hair. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I prefer when you lie to me and everything's okay. Because this sounds worse than it probably is now that you're telling me about it.
Yeah.
All right, I got one, and then we'll move on.
All right.
Is it my turn? It is my turn, right?
Yes.
Or no, we both did our Terrors. I can't remember what happened. All right, I'll give you one. Quote: I know what I'm capable of in this league. I put a lot of work in. I'm looking forward to getting out there and having a great season, helping my team win. End quote.
Ooh.
Very vague, very cliche, very nothing.
Is that Nico?
It's not Nico.
Jaime?
It's not Jaime. I know what I'm capable of in this league. It's Tyler. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. All right, that's good. Yeah. No,
when
you're
asked
right.
about anything, that's what he's going to. Love Tyler Hero. He's very candid in one-on-one situations. He's not the best. Not. I shouldn't say the best. He's not necessarily the most talkative at the podium. Yeah. One-on-one, he's great though, and I wish more people got a chance to talk to him one-on-one. But that's not a thing people can do all the time. All right, coming up next, more of our Media Day quote predictions, mock Media Day after this on Locked On Heat.
Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. And PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. You can even now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. PrizePicks is the best way to get action on sports in most states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. And PrizePicks and put their members first, so their withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When your picks hit, you can get your money in as quick as 15 minutes. So download the PrizePicks app today and use the code LOCKEDONNBA, and you get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDONNBA on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. We'll be right back.
Thanks again for making Locked On Heat your first listen every day. Tuning in every week for this great Miami Heat content. Best way to support the show, 5-star rating and review on your podcast app. Hit that subscribe button now on YouTube. Quote or comment in the comment section under us on YouTube. Let us know what you think these players will say on Media Day, what you're looking forward to hearing on Media Day. You're up, I think.
Yes, it is. All right, here we go. Y'all always looking to make trouble. Coach Pat's my guy, and he always will be. I understand what he wants, and it's the same thing I do. Just win. He's old school. He don't like talking too much. But that don't change what I said, that I think we would have had a better chance to win if I was out there and healthy. No disrespect to any of my teammates, and I think the same thing this year, too.
You nailed that, Jimmy Butler. That was great. Also, y'all always trying to make trouble is such a Jimmy Butler thing to do.
Y'all, yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, y'all, Coach Pat. These are like, dang, check. Yeah, if you're gonna go through a checklist of things Jimmy's gonna say, that's probably a part of it.
That was a really good one.
And then
can't
taking it back, walking it back slightly, and then not walking it back at all. Like, you know what? You guys are pissed off about it. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say because I'm Jimmy Butler. That's just what I do.
Yep. Walking it back and just being, but I still believe we would have because you got to have the bold declarations in there for Jimmy.
Absolutely.
He is going to be the most important figure on Media Day. I mean, that is going to be, it could be his last Media Day, like in a Miami Heat uniform. So it's not just because of all the accoutrements that Jimmy Butler comes with, whether it's like, what's he going to be wearing, what's he going to say, it's just, it's not only going to be, I think, the most watched Media Day figure for Heat Media Day, but it's going to be one of the more important Media Day sessions across the NBA. I think there's going to be a lot of teams and a lot of NBA fans kind of checking in and be like, all right, what's Jimmy going to say? Because we haven't heard from him publicly since basically Pat Riley made those comments, other than the
interview
tuning into his travels over the summer. But yeah, exactly. So that's what we'll get. So all right, I've got one. Quote, I think just taking the next step of being professional, working on my body so I could play the best of my abilities at the end of the season. Also, just working on three-point shooting, playmaking, defending, getting in reps, however I can improve to help us win a championship. End quote.
That could be Jaime. That's what I'm leaning toward. All right.
Jaime. Yeah, Jaime. Yeah. Jaime is a Heat culture talker if we've ever had one.
Yes, very much so.
Heat culture media trained.
It's the art of not giving away anything.
It's not only not giving away anything, but saying enough to where you feel like they are talking a lot. So, like, there's a lot of words in there, which is, like, Erik Spoelstra is the master at this. Like, Erik Spoelstra will say so many words. Like, he's not like Greg Popovich, like, where he'll just, like, give you a three-word answer. Like, Erik Spoelstra will talk for, like, 2 straight minutes. And then you're like, oh, this is great. Like, he's giving me a great answer. And you transcribe the whole thing, and then you look at it, and you're like, he didn't say bleep.
Anything. He didn't answer the question.
Anything at all. He didn't even answer the question. It's just a lot of competitive drops in there. But that's Jaime's great at it too.
All right. There's no magic pill to becoming a better player. It doesn't happen right away. So for me, I think that I just got to keep working, putting in the time to keep growing my game, and the results will speak for themselves.
Magic pill? Who would say magic pill?
All right, maybe I threw you off on that one, but just in terms of anything that's a quick turnaround.
Is it Nico?
No, it's Jaime. It's Jaime.
Jaime, okay, you got Jaime. All right. You hit me with your Jaime right away. You threw me off that way.
Yeah.
Swerve.
That's the art of it.
I
just for him again.
It's part of this game we made up. Okay.
Look, no, I mean, you just think about it. It's the same thing. It's like he's talking about in grandiose terms that he's got to grow and do things, and at the same time not revealing anything in that. It's just, I know that I've got to become better. I put in work. That's it. It's like, okay, yeah, we get it.
Yep.
That's why you're the perfect Heat player in many senses. That's exactly what you do.
But Jaime is sort of like Tyler also. Like, when I wrote that feature on him for The Ringer, like, he was like very candid one-on-one right outside. We did it right outside the locker room in that hallway. It was just like a different, I think when you get players like off to the side in a different environment, when the cameras aren't on them, especially.
Right.
And it's just like you with like your phone recording them or whatever. Like,
it was the same with me
in
in Indianapolis for All-Star. Yeah. Like, like he's got this throng of people around him. He's talking about the slam dunk contest. He's being asked by like Mexican media to speak in Spanish, and all that makes him feel uncomfortable. And then he goes to the side and he's just like totally chill. Like he's willing to talk about his injuries and 3-point shooting, etc. It's like it's a different animal to be there in front of all these mics. And it's not saying that they're not used to it at this point in their respective careers, but it's
if
also
anything, they are. They're so used to it that they know exactly what to do.
Yeah, you've got to be measured. Exactly.
Yeah, it is sort of funny now we're talking about it because when you approach these guys in like the locker room, even like especially like off the record, like no microphones, no cameras, nothing,
Yeah.
you're just like chatting.
Yeah.
Like it is got to be kind of funny to be an NBA player or coach and just be like, all right, so you just had to hit like the switch when you go up to that podium. You've got all those things. It's like you're the whole job as a player or a coach there these days. It wasn't always the case, but because like Clutch Points or NBA Central or whatever will just take these quotes out of context and it gets crazy. The whole job when you get up there is just don't screw up. Don't say anything that gets anybody in trouble. But then when you're in a one-on-one situation with people that like if you're reporters who like us, like around the team, they know who we are and they're comfortable with us, like they're just they drop it a little bit and they're a little bit more candid and and they trust you. And so it is sort of funny. Like you have to have that switch if you're doing that, which is what makes media day so fun. Quote, I would say building off last season, continue to spread the floor with my 3-point shooting, but also when I have a small guy on me, playing big, being more physical, that's what the coaches want to see from me and is important for me this season. End quote.
I know who that is, and that's Niko Jovic.
It is Nikola Jovic. Good job.
Big fan of Locked On Heat, and I wonder if he's going to change his answer around now that we know exactly what he's going to say. I wonder if he's going to give something different. But yeah, he talked about that recently, wanting to be able to be somebody who can take advantage of mismatches in the low post. We debated whether or not that's realistic or not, but we'll see if it's something he can incorporate regularly and consistently in his game.
So 2 things that make this a Nico quote, and I'm just giving myself credit for the nuances here. I would say, big Nico thing, like big sentence filler. I would say, or I wouldn't say. He drops those a lot in his quotes, and then always will talk about the coaches. Always talks about what coaches are telling him.
Yes.
And so those 2 things is like I would say this, and then anything about the coaches, it's a giveaway for a Nikola Jovic quote.
Very good.
What do you have? One more?
I've got 2 more.
You have 2 more.
Two more. All right. I mean, I'm a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, so I know what winning at the highest level means.
Right.
But I want to bring that feeling to an NBA court. I want to do that with this team, with the guys in that locker room. Now it's all about just getting to work. And Dan, quit asking me about Asia. We're just friends.
Erik Spoelstra. Just kidding.
Absolutely. Nailed it.
Quit asking me about Asia. We're just friends. Does anybody ask him? Somebody's going to ask him. You always no, somebody will.
Nobody.
Somebody will. It'll be a cringy TV reporter.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about.
I hate to. I know it sounds like I'm stereotyping here, but it'll be like an international reporter that's never been in this particular Heat locker room, and they're just like picking up on like culture things. Like, I think one time a couple of years ago, like Jimmy was asked about his friendship with Shakira or something like that, or one of those Camila Cabello, or I don't know, somebody along those lines, and it's just like,
well, Shakira was the rumor.
That was the rumor,
one that he was dating. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's always somebody who comes up. And it's not great. It's kind of cringy, as you said. So somebody might bring it up, but I'm hoping not. Like somebody's not going to know what the game is here. Like that's the whole thing. It's like between him and Asia and the Las Vegas Aces and Miami Heat social media teams, they keep making these not so thinly veiled jokes that everybody else, anybody with 2 eyes can possibly see, and it's like, the secret's out of the bag. We all know there's something. Right. I mean, I don't care. It's not our business, and I understand that 100%. So no, I would never ask him about that. But that's also kind of, it might seem like the thing that he might talk about also one-on-one too. Like if you ask him casually, how is she or something like that,
Right.
But even that, I
would never ask these people about like if I like Tyler with his kids.
Lives?
Tyler with his kids, I'll ask like, hey, how are the kids doing? Like something like that. But never about like, like how's your girlfriend, how's your wife? Like I'm not talking to them about that. They don't want to talk to us about that. Because you can get the TV reporter saying, well, this is a way local celebrity Bam Adebayo crossover pop culture, right? Who is he dating? Like that is such easy, like 2 minutes before we go to commercial break on local news kind of thing, like, or tease it
like
coming
Super
out.
Bowl media row and all that, like everybody asks all these ridiculous questions that have nothing to do with actual football or the game itself.
Yeah. I can't wait. It's so much fun.
I've got
so
one
excited for
more.
media day.
Are you done?
I have one more, but you go ahead. I want to save mine for last.
All right.
'Cause,
This one's pretty easy also. Injuries are part of the game, and this one took a little longer than I expected to get better, but I think I'll be all right and healthy for camp, starting or not. It makes no difference. That's coach's decision. My focus is to just get better and keep growing.
Did you not give me the Duncan Robinson quote yet? That's your Duncan?
I did give you Duncan. No, that's Nico.
Oh, Nico. Forgot that he was injured. Yep. That's a good one. All right, last one. Sometimes things fall where they may. I know I'm a max player in this league, and I know how to lead my guys to make sure we're holding the Larry O'Brien trophy at the end of the season, which we will.
Alec Burks.
Yeah.
No, that's Jimmy Butler, 100%.
Jimmy Butler.
Already. Yeah, speaking it into existence, the drop, then again, the not so thinly veiled, I'm a max player. Yeah, that's
which we will at the end with a coy smile. Like, just.
Yep. I'm still curious to see what happens on media day, like in terms of the hairstyle. Like we talked about it yesterday. Again, ball's not happening. So what does he do?
So I had another idea after we
anything?
got done recording because I think about this way too much.
Absolutely.
What if he showed up? We talked about like the all business scenario where he's just here for business.
Yes.
What if Jimmy shows up in a Armani suit?
He can't because he's taking pictures in a Heat uniform.
Well, if he shows up in the Armani suit and then takes it off, then he puts on the Heat uniform. But if he does his press conference in the suit, as I'm all business, but also an olive branch out to Pat Riley, like, hey, Armani Brothers, let's go.
I maybe
too lovey-dovey for him.
Feels a little
too corny.
Yeah. He's doing his own thing. He always does. That's who Jimmy is. It's not in line with what we think. It's in line with what he wants to put out there, and he's going to set the tone. So, yeah, I'm curious. Like, I guess he's wrapping up his vacation probably as we speak. He'll be in town on tomorrow, I would imagine, Saturday. Give him one day before he has to report to media day, and who knows how open he'll be, because he's going to be asked about this, and he might just be like playing it off. He might not give us any answers, or he might just go full flamethrower and just be like, nope, this is what I want. I've been consistent. I carry this team to the playoffs. I deserve to get paid, etc. So who knows? Well, it's going to be fun.
I don't.
I almost feel like not asking him anything and just grabbing a bowl of popcorn and just kind of watching it play out.
I don't see. I don't see the flamethrower coming out. Probably. It's not that we're not in general soreness era Jimmy Butler, right? Like we're sort of. This isn't Minnesota. I think there's enough respect between him and the organization, and I think he realizes, like, man, I got called out. And I can't play I already played the bad hand. I can't play the bad hand again. It doesn't work here, obviously. So he's smart enough I think to do that. I think you nailed it with your quote. I think I kind of hit it with my quote. He's just gonna redirect. He's like, look, I know who I am in this league. I have no problem with that. I know what I want to do, but I also know and he's gonna redirect back to team success, bold declarations, these things, the Jimmy Butlerisms that we come to expect, which are all great, and that's what he'll do. I don't think we're getting anything. I don't think we'll be surprised by anything Jimmy Butler says. Put it that way.
Definitely not.
But maybe we will.
We'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Media Day is on Monday. We're gonna have a ton of content flooding the channel on your podcast feed. On YouTube, we'll have one-on-ones with players from the Heat Arena from Media Day. Of course, we'll have our takeaways from Jimmy Butler's Media Day appearance, and we'll have interviews and all these other things and a bunch of bonus content. So be on the lookout for that. Next week is going to be slammed with content. The NBA season's almost here. We're so excited. But for now, thanks for making Locked On Heat your first listen every day. If you're new to us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on your podcast app. Have a great weekend.